Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 5 begins with another flashback of young John Dutton. This one does, at least, directly tie into the end of this episode's plot, more on that later. In present day, the horizon is still smoking from a wildfire while John and Rip realize it's about time to brand the calves. And John Dutton's gonna kill two huge birds with one stone by inviting the whole damn county to watch. Of course, John can't make it back inside without being stopped by a wildly annoyed Beth. Duh, it's about summer. And 9 minutes into the episode, Beth delivers her first burn of the night.
Referring to the season? Or that hairy hippie giving syphilis to our sofa?
John then cancels all of his meetings and learns about what Clara, his assistant, and political folks call MEPs, manufactured events for political purposes. This is how he'll accomplish his two birds, one stone scenario. John can brand cattle out in the gathering, all while reminding the public what he does on his ranch. Meanwhile, Summer is getting to know her house arrest prison, the ranch, and comes across Carter while he's out working. The teen teaches her in a beautiful exchange that to a cowboy, nature is God. Later, Monica finds Casey crying on their porch, and it's her turn to comfort him. She tells him not to quit his job, however, some solid advice.
Beth proves to be every inch of crazy wife as we expected, basically making Rip beg for her to join the branding mission. And he does, making this another I wish I was married to Rip Wheeler moment.
And quick cut to another couple, John and Summer this time. We expect a similar romantic moment as John invites her to the gathering, but instead Summer tries to shit on all that ranching is and does. John's deep hatred of cell phones returns, despite one saving his life, reminding us of this Season 3 quote. Yet this episode wouldn't be complete without Jamie making terrible decisions. We find him surprised in his office by Sarah Atwood, real name still TBD, where she ensnares him even further. We then see Beth, Rip, and Carter having a similar dinner to last season at their small dining table. But John won't have this and decides the entire family will join for dinner around the infamous dining table, which never goes well, at all.
Which means us fans are on the edge of our seats, ready for the drama, as Beth chugs her Tito's and struts on into the dining room.
Ah, poor Chef Gator. Vegan Summer is met with a meat-heavy dinner of wild game. She snaps back at each item he has plated with a tale of the innocence of the animal. Venison, duck, and doves galore.
You're serving the fucking bird of peace for dinner?
A wonderfully ironic piece of foreshadowing for what's coming next. But first, Monica can't contain herself and giggles at the whole thing, which is honestly a saving grace for her character. Fans are loving it.
Beth asks Summer to take it outside, and these two proceed to beat the absolute shit out of each other. How's that for birds of peace? Their battle goes on for an embarrassing amount of time, until Rip walks out and reminds them how stupid they look. Now, the women will trade punches until one decides to tap out, which is exactly what Walker and Lloyd did in Season 4. And as anyone would have predicted, Summer collapses under the insanity of it all and calls the match in tears. But surprisingly, Beth helps her up and a beautiful exchange occurs, which honestly makes it all worth it. They all head inside and it appears everyone's fought it out. Summer eats some butter-filled mashed potatoes and Beth chows down on a dove. But the rest of the table, especially John, is wildly uncomfortable. The patriarch excuses everyone and it silently clears out. Afterwards, Rip and John sit by the fire sipping some whiskey to discuss the freedom of Beth Dutton and how she chooses to fight her problems. In doing so, he references their Dutton ancestors of the past who we've seen in 1883 and look forward to seeing in 1923.
First Duttons to settle this valley. Fighting was all they knew.
The next morning brings a quiet focus to the family and the bunkhouse as they prepare to set off on horseback for the gathering. Day workers and bunkhouse boys shake hands, a powerful symphony swells in the background, and feelings of hope, newness, and anticipation of the unknown take over. This is when John gives the crew his rundown for the gathering, which is almost an exact match to the one Josh Lucas gave as young John Dutton at the beginning of the episode in that flashback. Only Summer and Monica remain, the latter watching as her family rides off into a potentially dangerous, long excursion.
Remember to comment your favorite or least favorite moment of this episode, like this video, and subscribe to Outsider for more Yellowstone episode reviews.